Hello everyone, welcome to this question paper solving. This is the solving of the second half of the latest November 2025 Math B Paper 1. This video solves questions from 15 to the last 27. If you need the previous questions, visit the channel. That video covers the first half, from question 1 to 14. Let's start with today's first question. For question 15, we are given this complex fraction that we need to show in this a-b form. For that, we can multiply the denominator with a plus modified to turn it into a squared minus b squared formula and get rid of the root under the fraction. Now we can simplify this and show it as the form we need. And our answer is 1 plus root over 2. For question 16, we need to perform a simple completing square to show this quadratic equation into our given format. For question 17, we need to break the brackets and simplify the equation. For b, we need to take common from the equation and form a bracket. We can take a d and 2e from this equation. Question 18, we are given this sharp illustration that has been labeled with some measurements. It is given that the whole area of it is 534 centimeters squared. For starters, we can divide this diagram into a simple rectangle and a trapezium. Using the labeling of lengths and x, we can form an equation of area and equalize it to our area value. Then we can simplify to get the value of x. Which we get as 9. For question 19, we have two equations equal to each other. We will try to demean the values by using exponents to represent them and simplify to get the value of x.
After a hefty session of simplifying, we get value of x as 2.5. For question 20, we have 420 students, of which 3/5 have chosen Horror Club and 5% have chosen Adventure Club. The rest are in Comedy Club. So we will multiply both the 3/5 and 5% with 420 and then subtract from it. And we get 147 students for Comedy Club in total. Now, they are separated into Group A and B, following a proportion of 1 to 6 respectively. So we can divide the total number of students by 7 and multiply with 6 to get the portion for B. And we get 126 students. For question 21, we are given a table of values. For A, we will multiply the points with their beside frequency, add them all together, and it's supposed to be equal to the 15.6 given. So we will equalize the equation and get the value for x, and we get x equal to 74. For B, to get the probability, we will check and add the frequencies together of the last 2 points marks, which are greater than 16, and then divide them by the total frequencies of all points. And we get 11/43. For question 22, for A, first we will separate the universal numbers into the groups of A, B, and C. Then we will get rid of the repetitions and write them in their unions. Now, for B, we are asked for all 3 unions prime, so it leaves the 2 numbers in the box, which are 9 and 10. Next, for C, we are asked to get rid of B, but keep the ones that are in union with A, so it gets rid of only 2, leaving 8 for the answer. Finally, for D, we are asked for the probability of A and C combined, compared to everything in universal. Since there are 7 of them in A and C, it will be 7/10. For question 23, we have presented a very complex figure constructed using circles only. There is a grey part, shaded for proper labeling. It is given that the big semicircle has 24 centimeters diameter, and we are asked to find the radius of the smaller 3 circles. For that, we will divide the big semicircle like a cake into 6 pieces. Then we draw a line from the center of the farthest small circle down to the diameter so it forms a right-angled triangle. And since a semicircle has 180-degree line, dividing 6 times makes it 30-degree for each triangle. Now we will use the sine rule to get the value of r and show that it's indeed 4 centimeters. For B, we need to find the area of the shaded area I mentioned earlier. For that, we will use the triangles we formed, exactly 6, to get their area. Then, since 1/6 of the small circles are in them, adding it together causes one small circle's area to be removed from it. The small triangle comes to be 8√3, and the small part of circle comes to be 8π/3. Now we subtract and multiply with 6 to get answer of 32.9. For question 24, we have an absurdly complicated algebraic fraction that we need to simplify. We will use theories like a² minus b² and middle term to switch a few equations to our need and simplify. For question 25, we are given a hemisphere attached over a cone. It is given the radius of the hemisphere and the circular base of the cone is 5 centimeters, and that the whole object has a volume of 550 pi over 3. First, we will find and deduct the volume of the hemisphere from the total volume. Then we will construct an equation for just the cone to equalize with the remaining volume to get the height. We get the height as 12 centimeters that we will use to calculate the surface area of the whole object. For question 26, we are given a vector illustration with their value from their direction. We will label the values on their lines correspondingly. We are also told that BC is divided as 1 to 5. At A, we will find the simple AC. Next, for B, we need to get OP. For OP, we need to get CP and then simplify. Moving on to C, we need to find OP to PD. We can equalize OP with OD by multiplying OP with lambda to act as a proportional variable. Since we already have the value of OP, we will find another path of OD and equal them. We get another path of OA plus AD. Now we get AD, then put it in this. Now we equalize them, A with A and B with B. we get lambda as 20 over 13. After subtracting, the 13 is for OP, so the remaining 7 will be for PD. So our ratio is 7 to 13. For question 27, at A, we will equalize 2x minus 1 to 0, get x equal to half and put it in the equation, then equate it to O to get the value of A. At B, we will use the same 2x minus 1 to do long division on our big equation and simplify. At C, we can replace the repeated 3y minus 1 with x, and that returns it to our earlier equation. Now we know that x is equal to 3y minus 1, so we will equalize the values of the x with the new 3y minus 1 and simplify to get the values for y. And we're done. We have successfully completed the Paper 1 of November 2025 Math B. I was a bit ill, so this paper is a bit late. I hope I can manage to finish the Paper 2 of this session. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment. I will try my best to answer you. Like and subscribe to get recommended the Paper 2 as soon as it releases. Thanks for watching.